You're comfortable? Well, let's do it. Time. I'm so excited to share with you what I've been working on for the last 2 years. Imagine a world where you can choose the flavor in your coffee. Well, that would be exciting, right? So, for you, what would that be? Would that be maybe a fruity espresso? Or maybe for you, a floral espresso? Or maybe for you, a combination of both fruity and floral? Well, for me, it will be flavors and aroma that brings me joyful memory, a taste of Saffron, France, where I grew up. So in order to create what I call an intentional coffee, where you select the varietal, the fermentation, the process to match the flavor that I have in my mind, I've contacted the only producer I know who will be crazy enough to make this crazy concept with me, Andrés Quiseño from Finca La Riviera in Colombia. Andrés and I have been working on for the last 2 years, imagining every step so that crazy idea of choosing flavor in your espresso become a reality. Now, let me bring you back to Andrés' farm with a tasting of every step on how to make an intentional coffee. This is not part of your espresso evaluation, but this is for you to be part of the journey. So I'm going to ask you to lift the lid base, put it on the side, have a sip, and then put it back on. Please. So first, we need to find a good varietal for this experiment. And we tried many coffees at Andrés' farm. And we found what you just tasted right now, a Sidra varietal grown at 1,500 meters above the sea level. I choose this varietal for its pleasant mouthfeel. Now this has been handpicked at the ripest 18% bricks to give you more sweetness. And it has been washed for 24 hours to give you clean and elegant flavors. But I wanted more sweetness from this coffee. So here we started our first intentional fermentation. Andrés proposed to depulp the coffee, but keep the pulp together and put it on the tank with the coffee for 1 day. This is called a mosto process, and it increases the sweetness of the coffee, making it balanced with acidity and bitterness, and with this pleasant mouthfeel. This is a perfect choice for a base coffee. Now, I'm going to ask you to lift the lid fruity. Put it on the side, have a sip, and put it back on. Now you know the drill. So much more fruity, right? Here, I wanted intentionally to have more fruity notes that will give character to the coffees. So Andrés proposed the second intentional fermentation, adding bacteria. So after the first day with Mosto, he opened the tank and adds bacteria, lactobacillus. These bacteria break down the enzyme of the coffee and turn them into free amino acids, enhancing the fruity note as perceived in your tasting and later in your espresso as red grape. Now, judges, I'm going to ask you to lift the lid floral. Put it on the side. Have a sip and put it back on. So much more floral, right? So here, I wanted a floral and elegant sensation. So Andrés proposed to do a third intentional fermentation. This time, adding yeast to the fermentation tank. So after the first day with Mosto, the second day with bacteria, Andrés add for 1 more day in the same fermentation tank yeast, Saccharomyces. This breaks down the acids of the coffee and produce esters. Those esters are responsible for enhanced floral notes as you have in your tasting, And in your espresso later, orange blossom. Now, orange blossom is very special for me. It brings me back immediately to south of France. It's such an iconic flavor from where I grew up. We use it in pastry and in perfume, so I love it so much. Sometimes I found that in Asian country, that orange blossom can be also described as white sweet flower. So we started this presentation imagining a world where you can choose the flavor in your coffee. Well, here we have it. A carefully chosen Cidra varietal for its pleasant mouthfeel, and 3 combined fermentation intentionally. The first one, mosto, that increased the sweetness. The second one with bacteria that increase fruity flavor. And then the third one, yeast, that increase the floral flavor. Now, it is time for your espresso. Today, my recipe, 21 grams in, 32 grams out, to give you a balanced espresso. For the flavor note, please write down red grape, orange, nectarine, a long aftertaste of orange blossom, it's a low to medium weight, and it has a silky mouthfeel. Judges, I'm going to ask you to please evaluate the crema, but wait for my instruction to drink it. All right. So just evaluate the crema, but wait for my instruction. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. You can take the spoon in front of you. Stir 5 times. When you're done, you can put it in the vessel in front of you. And then please, drink the espresso from the bottom of the rim. This is going to help you to perceive better the aromas and flavor, especially the orange blossom one. Enjoy your espresso now. All right, judges, let's move on to the milk beverage. And here we're going to use the same technique as intentionally fermenting the coffee. Here, I wanted to increase the intensity of that fruity note, that red grape that you had in your tasting, that with milk will transform into blueberry. So I asked the producer, can we increase an intensity of a flavor? And here, we got lucky with a happy accident. But I'll tell you more later. For now, just please evaluate the visual of your milk drink and then wait so that we can all drink it together. While experimenting at the farm, we accidentally put double the amount of bacteria. And to our surprise, when we kept the coffees, it was so much more intense. So we knew that by accident, we found a way to increase flavor intensity. Now, by having that much bacterial activity to the tank, it damaged more the cell membrane, making it subject to burn when roasting. But by applying gentle heat and a short development time of 50 seconds, I was able to maintain the integrity of the coffee, all its flavor, that would pair beautifully with a rich milk. For the milk, I'm using 100% freeze-distilled cow milk. I removed 50% of the water, giving you creamy texture, smooth texture, and increased perceived sweetness. For the flavor note, please write down blueberry cheesecake, violet candy, blackberry, and so a smooth mouthfeel. It's going to be served cooler than what you guys are used to, 50 degrees temperature. But this is for you to help you to perceive better the flavors and aroma of this milk drink. You can now enjoy the milk drink. All right, judges, let's move on to the signature drink. I'm going to ask you to turn around and then move to the next table. Here, I would like to focus intentionally on that floral note, the orange blossom aroma. So I'm going to elevate the drink to give you more freshness and refreshing sensation. First, my 4 espresso, the same recipe and the same coffee as your espresso course, chilled in this ice bath. My first ingredient, I'm using a fat wash technique where I blend 1 part of coconut oil, 3 parts of coconut water, naturally sweet. Now, after 2 hours, those two separate, but the coconut water has absorbed some of the fat. So by using only that part, the coconut water, 70 ml, I'm able to give you a new note from the nectarine that you had in your espresso into yellow peach. My second ingredient, I did a simple distillation with a bergamot. I peeled 1 bergamot with 100 ml of water for 2 hours. Then after that, I collect the hydrolyte. This is a very powerful aromatic of all the bergamot. This, with my coffee, only 2 drops, will create 2 new notes of lime and grapefruit. Now I'm blending everything together, injecting nitrogen, giving you a round mouthfeel, echoing my espresso silkiness. My signature drink will be enjoyed in 2 sips. For the first sip, you will have the flavors of, please write down, yellow peach, orange, a round mouthfeel, served cold. The second sip, more refreshing with note of lime, grapefruit, giving that refreshing sensation. I'm going to ask you to please enjoy my signature drink when I call my time. And then have it from the blue part of the vessel. This is going to give you a more pleasant mouthfeel sensation. For you. For you. Now, judges, I have one last ingredient. Here, I'm using an innovative technique called supercritical CO2, the ability of a gas to become liquid under pressure. So I have here 50 grams of my coffee, coarsely ground, charged with CO2 for half an hour. This represents all the aromatic of my coffee, and I will demonstrate to you how it works. This is the concentrate essence of only the aromatic, that orange blossom note. Now, this is already prepared here. with half a liter of water. This will create a surrounding sensation of orange blossom, reminding you of my espresso. We're now coming to the end. We're now living in a world where we can choose the flavor of your coffee. It allows Andres to be more creative and unique, and for me to co-create coffees with him. It's been an absolute pleasure. Time.